Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another bi-weekly Dragon Ball figure news recap video. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have some pretty fun stuff to take a look at today, but there is not a ton of huge figure news this week. We kind of had a lot of stuff drop in the previous bi-weekly news video between all the new prize figure stuff. Actually, we do have some prize fair news today. Between all the new prize figures and all the pictures of the Ichiban Kuji figures and all of the stuff relating to Super Saiyan God Goku, which thankfully on video I can now finally give you a concrete update to, because holy cow, that whole situation was kind of a little bit of a mess if I'm being honest with you. But before we get into things today, of course, if you do enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. I did want to let you all know I am now doing shorts. I'm going to try and do these pretty consistently, and I've already actually uploaded a couple of them. As you can see, I did a S.H.Figuarts full power Broly unboxing and a Ultra Instinct Goku head swap video. So definitely go check those out. I'm going to be trying to do more shorts on the channel because I think they're great for figures that might not do as well for bigger videos. Like, you know, Broly's kind of an older figure, but I still wanted to open it for a video. So doing it for a short was cool. And some more kind of in-between content that might not be fit for an entire video like the Goku head swaps video, but it's something that I would still like to do for a video. So definitely go check those out. I'm going to try and stay consistent on these as I can, so look forward to those videos. But let's go ahead and hop into our newest piece of news, leaving off from November 1st, which was the upload of our last video. First of all, the Zarbon, right? The Transform Zarbon from Dragon Ball Arise. We did kind of talk about this guy in the last video a little bit, but we obviously have a couple different multi-angles, and I just wanted to give you a little bit of the note, right, that there is no word on a US release, and the Big Bad Toy Store, obviously, when they have a pre-order up, we will definitely be dropping a link for you. Again, man, oh man, these figures are usually really expensive. They're usually like 200 to 250 bucks a pop, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, when this guy actually comes out, how much he actually ends up being. And it kind of stinks because there really isn't that many Monster Zarbon figures. Like, there definitely isn't even a modern Monster Zarbon figure. This is probably the newest. A Monster Zarbon is such a tongue twister, by the way. It's the newest one that I swear we've had within the last couple years. So unless you're his biggest fan, maybe just wait and see if they make an Ichiban Kuji figure of this guy. I for some reason, I swear that, like, Bandai hates this guy for some reason, but I guess if you're a really big fan of him, unfortunately, just going to have to wait a little bit unless you want to dish out the cash. Moving on from that, so finally, I can give you an update on this guy right here, which actually we do have a tweet about that also, literally right here. Thankfully, we now have a pre-order for this guy. Obviously, in the first video that I went over him, we talked about how on the Instagram page it just said pre-order now, and pre-orders were not up for like weeks. And then they finally gave a date that you could pre-order on him, and now you can actually finally pre-order the big bad boy himself. Thankfully, right? The pre-order actually went up, ironically enough, like on the day that this video went up, unfortunately. So yes, he is indeed a general release, which is awesome. What this means, if you're unfamiliar, is that there is not going to be any premium Bandai shenanigans or anything like that. You're not going to have to order this guy off a special site. He's not going to be costing you an arm and a leg. This is a standard S.H.Figuarts release at $35. He'll come with, you know, minimal hands, you know, a couple face plates, or minimal accessories, I should say, a couple hands and a couple accessories, right? And I'll obviously be running you about 35 bones. Now, you can pre-order this guy now, and actually the weird thing is, Big Bad Toy Store is the only place that I have seen this guy for pre-order. I have checked around at different sites, like for some reason Amazon doesn't have him, you know, like Target and whatever, like GameStop doesn't have him, and for standard releases they usually do. I'm wondering if it's just because it's so far out, because unfortunately this figure does not release until July of next year, which is really, really unfortunate, to be honest with you. It's kind of weird. Like, I thought that they announced this, and kind of the whole point of having this all, you know, happen now is because, of course, recently was the 10th anniversary. Can I not say 10th anniversary without getting a tongue tie? Of Battle of Gods, right? Of course. And you're telling me they're bringing out the figure in July of next year? Hydrate or dihydrate, ladies and gentlemen. Bandai will be Bandai, I suppose, though. This is just like Gohan Beast, right? It took them literally until, like, basically a year after Superhero came out to give us the S.H.Figuarts Gohan Beast. So, I don't know, man. Bandai's just a silly company with these type of things. But, of course, in July, not only will I be doing a video on this guy, but of course, you know, if you pre-order him from that Big Bad Toy Store, I can't speak today. I'm so sorry. You can obviously get him there. Oh, this is from the little spinny thing that's on the Dragon Ball official site, where it's just a bunch of images compiled together, and then you can kind of spin it around. But they have it here on the Big Bad Toy Store website, which is cool. I will say, the nice thing about this figure is it is very accurate to the movie. Not only is it super bright orange, right? Because Goku's, like, orange kind of varies between figure to figure, right? Whether it is the superhero Goku, or the Saiyan raised on Earth Goku, right? Or the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, right? Even the full power Super Saiyan Goku, right? Obviously, the color on the orange kind of varies on all those. So it's nice to see this kind of bright orange for this figure in particular, because obviously it originated from an anime movie. And not to mention, it's also nice to see that they have the white trim on the bottom of the boots, because that is something specifically to the Battle of Gods version Goku that is on his design. So it's nice to see that clearly, this being the Battle of Gods figure, it would make sense that obviously, you know, he's got those boots. So pretty cool. But yeah, if you would like to pre-order him, you can do so on Big Bad Toy Store. You can always cancel your pre-order. So if you want to pre-order this guy now, right, and then obviously as we get closer to the time that he will actually release in July, I assume that more places will have him up for your pre-order, and you can obviously then, you know, cancel your pre-order on here and go to another site. Or, I mean, obviously, I recommend Big Bad Toy Store. You know, I think they're a good website. I use them quite frequently for figures, especially nowadays. They're really good. So, yeah, definitely recommend using them if you're interested in God Goku, but until then, we're basically going to have to wait, I guess, until we get some more, maybe Tamashii will release more pictures of him or something like that. By the way, I did want to mention, I know it's not Dragon Ball, but I did mention him in the last video. They also got the Gear 5 Luffy S.H.Figuarts figure up there for 85 bucks, because obviously he comes with a lot more than Goku does, so that's why he's more expensive. Also, like, new form tax, because whenever a new form is released in an anime, I swear the price of the figures is always more than the figures of it that are released later. But anyway, that is God Goku, so thankfully you can now pre-order the bad boy. I'm glad after all that deliberation we actually are able to pre-order the figure, which is nice. The Dragon Ball Arise, let's see. It was a holiday in Japan today, so not a whole lot of news going on in the 3-day weekend, so I took some time to create a figure. Oh, I see. So on the dbzfigures.com website, it looks like that he is actually going to be making, or has made, I see. You can look at the entire list of all of the figures from the Dragon Ball Arise line. That's pretty cool. I'm sure he's probably still updating and whatnot, but that's pretty cool if you want to take a look at that. Yeah, right here, obviously, you know, we have the first article on Monster Zarbon, and then we'll get more info on him later. Okay, so the Jump calendar, right? This, obviously, is giving us and some very exciting stuff, by the way. Below are the calendar figure release for the month of November 2023. So obviously these two are coming out this month, which I am really, really excited. I have these guys pre-ordered on Big Bad Toy Store, in fact. I don't have Ultimate Gohan pre-ordered because, like, I just wanted the Gohan Beast, and this is probably going to be the best Gohan Beast figure that we have in terms of prize figures for a while, right? I think this guy is a lot better than the History Box one, and I really wanted to get him. I really like the expression and everything on him, so I'm definitely pretty excited to get him as well. The History Box Volume 9 Goku, and the Clear Eyes Majin Vegeta, along with the Gotenks from the BOS line. All of those coming out this month. And the Dragon Ball Arise, Alize, whatever, Raditz with Farmer. Low-key, I almost want this figure just for Farmer. Just because I think it would be cool, but obviously this is a pretty expensive figure. As you can see, that's 29,700 yen, which is kind of ridiculous, but anyhow, moving on from that, we did have the Dragon Ball Weekly News for the week of November 6th. And obviously the main things from this were the jump calendar, right, which we obviously saw. And then they talked about how Super Saiyan 2 Goku and Majin Vegeta are now joining the Dragon Star series, which we actually talked about those two figures in a previous video. I don't remember what particular figure news video it was, but we discussed them kind of coming out then. So yeah, those are now available, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure if they're available in the States yet, but obviously, I mean, I would assume, because I think those have a worldwide release as far as I'm aware. But anyhow, moving on from that, this is kind of funny. This is something that we'll also see later in the video. They came out with a latching Cyberman tissue holder, which is kind of funny. This was announced by the official site and is a Cyberman tissue dispenser that can latch onto things, right? This is a Japan-only item, so unfortunately if you want this guy, you're going to have to import him, but the whole idea is that obviously I'm sure his hands are magnetized, and then you can kind of have him cling on to stuff and just have a tissue holder like this. I don't know. Like, this is a very silly item for sure. I don't really know. Like, this looks like an office setting. I don't think you would ever have it in an office setting. This would definitely be something to have, like, next to your figure shelf or something, or next to your desk. But, I mean, hey, if you want a Cyberman tissue holder, bro, go off. That is kind of funny. So, by the way, we did talk about this, I think, a little. Ooh, hold on. Let me also see. What is this? I did not even see this when I was looking. Just yesterday, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z and also collect vinyl records. Oh, wow, that's cool. Interesting. An official vinyl for Dragon Ball. Okay. That's pretty cool. A few sites have it at different price points, with Amazon being the highest, but with the earliest release date, which will release on the 15th. Interesting. That's pretty cool. Well, if you're interested in this, go hit up Amazon. I actually did not know about this. I don't have a record player. Otherwise, I might actually buy that. So we did talk about this a little bit in the last video, I believe, but the official Dragon Ball site announced Volume 2 of the Dragon Ball Acrylic Stand Collection, featuring 3 of Goku's most popular quotes from the voting from the Goku Day celebration, right? And the rest are different pieces of Toriyama art, right? And obviously, these are Gashapon products, so, you know, you won't know which one that you're getting until you open it up, basically, right? And this is Volume 1, so that's going to be interesting to see what we get in Volume 2. Personally, I think it would be cool to get, like, the Bye Guys one. That would be really cool. It would be cool to have it as well, either this one or this one next to, like, some figures, if you were doing some figure posing with these little quotes next to it, like the new Super Saiyan Goku that's going to be coming out early next year, right? That would be really good to put with him. That'd be super cool. Alright, I think besides that, the only other thing was the Dragon Ball Weekly News for the 13th, and as far as I am aware, the only thing that was shown off in terms of figures was the high-grade Android set, which we took a look at in the last episode, right? Apparently, there's also Tamashii Nations event at their flagship store in Akihabara this weekend. You can pre-order figures, and a rumor has it they're announcing something new. Yes, we'll actually talk about that in just a moment there, because that is actually something that they teased was going to be coming up. I'm glad that that article reminded me of it, because I actually may have forgotten to include that in this video. But yeah, unfortunately, in this episode, you know, it was basically just the high-grade figures, and obviously, they talked about some of the prize figures that are coming out this month, too. But they did actually show off some of the prize figures a little bit like this with the producer. So if you would like to get the close-up image of these bad boys, I don't think I can actually, like, zoom in on this, otherwise I think it'll ruin my recording setup. But yeah, you can see the little mini-figures there, and we talked more about them last week if you are interested in that. So, by the way, this is going to be very interesting, because we will probably be having some pretty big Dragon Ball figure news actually coming up quite soon. As you can see, on the 17th in Akihabara, there is going to be a Tamashii Nations Store Tokyo event being held from the 17th to the 19th, which is very interesting, right? Yeah, their flagship store is going to be hosting the event, and I assume that this right here is going to be at the event. Yup, it has the same logo. This was something that they announced just recently, right, on the Instagram page. This was from 2 days ago. Join us for a special Dragon Ball series live stream straight from Figure World at Tamashii Nation 2023. We will look at upcoming items as well as the first unboxing of the November 23rd release of the S.H.Figuarts Son Goku Legendary Super Saiyan, along with special guest, editor-in-chief of the Dragon Ball series at Shueisha, Mr. Victor Uchiha, the Jumpman, as I always like to call him. You've probably recognized him if you watch a couple of the Dragon Ball Hero streams before, but obviously this guy being the, you know, the legendary Super Saiyan Goku, this is the figure that we've been waiting for so long, right? Obviously the super jacked Super Saiyan Goku from Namek, who obviously in Japan, he is coming out November 23rd, which is actually pretty soon, and for the States, I believe he's going to be coming out early next year in January, if memory serves. Maybe I'll try and get this guy a little early, because that would be awesome to have him before the end of the year. But regardless, though, the actual live stream is going to be happening on the 18th at 13 JST. And the reason why I'm so interested in this live stream is because, as you can see, the small little text here says we will also be talking about our next release, which will be announced during our countdown leading up to the event. Drop in every day so you don't miss out. So that is obviously super exciting, and hopefully that means that they'll give us more info about whatever that upcoming release is. I honestly might just live stream this myself, like live stream my reaction to this on the figure unboxing channel, because this is actually happening on this coming Saturday at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock my time. So I might just live stream this. I don't know how long it's going to be or anything like that, or even like where I would find this live stream, if it'll be on YouTube or anything like that. But I might just stream this myself because I don't think I have anything going on this weekend. So keep an eye out for that. If you see a stream scheduled for me, you'll know I'm doing it. And in going to this Instagram page to actually show you this information, I noticed that potentially that figure drop that they were talking about may have been shown off in the last time I checked Tamashii's Instagram. Look at this. S.H.Figuarts Super Saiyan Son Gohan, fighter who surpassed Goku. This is quite literally my first time ever seeing this. I literally only saw the preview image as I was scrolling down to show you the thing we just talked about. So this is my first time genuine reaction to this information. So let's see what we got here. Scheduled release April 2024. Pre-orders open on November 21st. Okay, so that's going to be coming up pretty soon. From Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan Gohan makes his way back to the S.H.Figuarts line. Before I read the rest of it, let's see what else. Oh, that's so cool. They have the head when he initially goes Super Saiyan 2. Okay, so this is really cool. Oh, interesting. So yeah, this is definitely like Super Saiyan 1 Gohan, right? Which is pretty interesting. So this makes me think that they're going to release a new Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, because like we've talked about on this series many times before, let me take a drink of water real quick. They love to do convention exclusives, right? And after they do the convention exclusives, then they'll release like another normal version of the figure. For some reason, I can't like this on Instagram. I don't know why. Maybe I'm not logged in. And with that, right, we usually just kind of anticipate, well, these convention exclusives are cool, but they're probably going to do some kind of normal figure related to this. And that kind of seems to be the case. Obviously, we had the convention exclusive Super Saiyan 2 Gohan recently that came with the Ghost Goku. I've done a couple videos on that guy. But the really interesting thing that I'm noticing about this figure is not only do the faceplates look pretty good, they do look like painted on kind of weird. Like, especially this one looks a little bit painted weird, if I'm going to be honest with you. That's kind of interesting. Regardless, though, right, like this face looks like normal. It looks like the normal kind of modern S.H.Figuarts look. But I swear the paint on it looks kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's just how far away it is or something like that. It almost looks like flat or something like that. But that is a cloth cape, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what the rest of this says. With the latest articulation technology used for this month's Super Saiyan Son Goku. Okay, so this is the 3.0 body that is being used for this, not the 2.0 body, which is cool. Gohan also comes with 4 extra face parts, as well as the first cloth accessory for the S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball series. Wow. That is really interesting. We'll be talking to the head of R&D about this figure on our live stream on Saturday, 1 p.m. JST. So that says one. Oh, okay. I think it's because, well, I don't know military time very well. If 13 JST converts to 1 p.m., I'm assuming it does. You can let me know in the comments section below. But that is really cool. I did notice that the cape was fabric. That's crazy. They have never done something like that before. I'm wondering if in the cape there's actually going to be a bendy wire, because as you can see, there's a little bit of like a seam where it's sewn there. And I would kind of assume if they're able to get the cape up in this position, right? Obviously, unless they're just using a fan to kind of blow the cape up, or they have some kind of stand that they edited out for it, I would highly assume that there's a bendy wire in there to be able to get it to get that pose. So that is really cool. And ironically enough, this sort of almost relates back to my whole thing that I was just saying earlier, where they release a convention exclusive and then they make like either the same figure or something extremely close as like a normal release, or obviously like maybe this is going to be a premium Bandai release. I don't know. Because obviously, you know, this has a cloth cape, right? So this isn't a general release because it has an accessory. At least I'm assuming so. I hope I'm wrong on that, but I'm just kind of going to think that that's the case for now, so I don't get my hopes up. But in terms of this cape, right, obviously Gohan's iconic cape, we did get that semi-recently that came as an accessory with, I believe it was Gamma 2 that it came with, right? It was one of the superhero figures, because obviously they did that whole gimmick where all of the accessories for Ultimate Gohan came with every single different superhero figure. And, excuse me, oh my gosh. Obviously the cape came with Gamma 2, and it was plastic. So it's kind of interesting because that feels like sort of another case of where they're releasing a item, right, or an accessory as something that's sort of kind of exclusive, right, where obviously the Gammas were premium Bandai releases, and to be able to get that, you know, accessory for the figure you already own, you had to buy a whole nother figure to be able to get that accessory. And now the same accessory is being included in another figure, right, that probably if you were buying a Gohan figure anyway, you would probably be fine with buying this. Not that obviously the Gammas aren't fantastic figures. I love the Gamma 1 and 2 S.H.Figuarts figures, and I mean, you know, if you're a fan of superhero, I think that it's a good buy, and I mean, you know, you just get the cape with them. But obviously, if you just want the cape, it's kind of a little bit of, you know, not so nice business practice if you're just somebody who's in it for that. So kind of interesting looking at it from that perspective as well, that they're including a cape with this guy. But regardless, though, super cool that this is going to be a cloth cape. I am really, really excited to actually see more about this guy. I hope on the live stream. I think at this point, bro, I might just be locking it in. I think I'm gonna stream the stream at that point, just to be able to see Gohan and give the live reaction. That would be really cool. And obviously pre-orders will open on the 21st. So by then, we should have another... No, there will not be another figure news video, another bi-weekly recap by then, but I'll probably upload like a, you know, one-off pre-order now type of video for him, kind of giving the details on the boy. So definitely look forward to that video. But yeah, that's really cool. I did not actually expect to see Gohan here when I was just kind of scrolling for this, so that's pretty cool. Before we move on here, I actually thought to check the official Tamashii Nations Japanese website, and as you can see here, we actually do have a page for it, and we do have a estimate on the price. As you can see, right, if we're translating the page with the little plugin I have here, this guy is going to cost about 7,150 yen with the 10% tax included. So with tax excluded, he'll be about 6,500 yen. So, right, obviously with current conversion rates, it might be a little bit tentative as to how much he'll actually be, but I would assume that that would probably translate to about 65 bucks USD. Unfortunately, if we're looking at the current conversion rate of yen to USD, if I can actually get this tab in here, there you go. You can see that it is currently 42.84, but whenever they release a figure like this, they never actually give it a, you know, like exact price. Like if we go real quick to my figure collection real quick and we look up Trunks, right? If we're taking a look at Trunks here, right, you can see that this guy, right, is actually about the same price as Gohan, right? Exactly the same, as you can see. The 6,500 price tag for yen. Right now, the reason why I'm bringing this up in the first place is because, please excuse how zoomed in this is, I just didn't want to bother editing out my address and everything like that, so I just zoomed in on the Amazon page. Also, don't mind my Honey plugin over there telling me there's been a price drop detected. If we take a look at the Amazon page, this is shipped and sold by Amazon, so this is the actual price of the figure. The usual price of this guy, as you can see, is $75.99, right? However, he is actually, ironically enough, on sale for $67.99. So, with that being said, right, considering that this is Trunks' price, and he is the same price as Gohan when it comes to yen, I will not be surprised if Gohan ends up being pretty expensive, right? To be fair, Trunks definitely comes with a lot more accessories than this Gohan does, right? Obviously, he comes with the sword, multiple different face plates, the base form head. He comes with the extra parts for Frieza. So it definitely will not surprise me if Gohan is actually cheaper than Trunks. But I'm just telling you, because we already have a figure at that price, right? I'm just kind of showing you the cost comparison. Now, the only other thing that I wanted to kind of bring up here is they actually had the funny little 360 here for Gohan. And again, I'm kind of assuming that this is a bendy wire because that's really what it looks like. In the way that, you know, how the cape is actually sticking up in the air. That's what would make the most sense to me for it to look like this. Now, I'm sure that because this is a 3.0 body for Kid Gohan, people are probably going to take the original Gohan head and stick him on here to have a, you know, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. I know he doesn't wear the cape when he's Super Saiyan 2, but, like, it's just an awesome look for him. And not to mention, right, obviously you'll be able to take the cape off, so this will just be a 3.0 body Gohan, right, where you can just get a custom Super Saiyan 2 head. Honestly, that's not a bad idea either, if you wanted to go that route. But yeah, that's looking like what this is going to be. Obviously, this is the same images. You know, looking close up at this thing, right, with these really high-quality images on the website, right? The only thing that is kind of a little bit of a uh-oh kind of look for this guy, right, is the fact that, first of all, this looks really good here. But replacement head parts. Oh, I see. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, one of them is like a blowing in the wind head, and the other one is like a, you know, static, just he's standing there head. Interesting. I did not even really notice that when looking through these images. Yeah, that makes sense to me. You know, because obviously, you know, you want like the ones for the fighting poses and whatever. But the only thing that looks a little bit off to me is I'm assuming this gap right here is where the hair is actually going to stick onto the head, right? That would kind of make sense to me, because obviously, you know, with S.H.Figuarts, you stick off the front of the head, and then you can change the faceplate, and then you put the little hair piece back on, right? So if that is going to be a gap that's going to be showing on the figure, that might be a little bit to be honest with you, because I kind of don't really like that. I would much rather have it look a lot more seamless. Like the S.H.Figuarts figures up until this point do a very good job of you not really being able to see that gap where you can actually pull off the hair. It kind of just, you know, goes into the sculpt really well. I assume it's just because this Gohan has a haircut like this, that's the way that they decided to do it, but I still feel like they maybe could have done it in a better way. This is, of course, a prototype, right? So it's not like the final version, I'm assuming, because most of the time, right, they kind of say that where, oh, this is not necessarily how the final product will look, right? Obviously, that's usually the way Bandai does it, so they can cover their butt in case something happens, which is understandable, I suppose. So that'll be interesting to see if that kind of develops in any way going forward. But yeah, this was sort of a impromptu little journey here that I honestly did not expect to have included in this video. But hey, here's your brand new figure to be talked about in this video. So this kind of was overall good timing. Alright, let's move on to the rest of our Dragon Ball figure news. We actually have some updates about a bunch of different things. And it is all pretty easy stuff. It ain't going to take too long, so let's just go ahead and get through it. First of all, obviously, in last 2 weeks ago's video, we talked about the brand new prize figures that we're going to be launching, and of course, the BOS MUI Goku, right, was a figure that was shown off. These are the high-quality production images for these guys. This looks really, really good, honestly. I really like the sculpt of this guy. I honestly might pick this guy up. I have not picked up an MUI Goku figure, unless you count the S.H.Figuarts Toyotaro one. But I haven't picked up an MUI Goku figure in so long because I have so many of them, but whew, that sculpt is so good. Might have to cop that. Here's a thread of all the high-quality production images of the Ginyu Force. Obviously, in the last video, we saw that the Sawed Edgeworks line was going to be bringing us Ginyu and Jace, which is pretty cool, but with that being said, right, I mean, it would only kind of make sense if they're going to make the whole Ginyu Force, and they obviously showed off the whole Ginyu Force to us. But yeah, I just wanted to show those off real quick, obviously, since we saw them basically last time, but not only is it a good refresher, but obviously it's, you know, the super high quality images. And here is the boy Majin Vegeta as well. Yeah, we definitely talked about it in the last video. It's kind of weird that there's, like, only a little bit of battle damage on him. It's, like, on his face, and his clothes are ripped, but, like, only on his leg, and, like, not really on his arms. I don't know. It's kind of weird, to be honest with you, but still a good-looking figure nonetheless. And this is a good confirmation. Both Super Saiyan God Goku and Gear 5 Luffy for the S.H.Figuarts will be made in China, obviously. Usually, China gives us better quality figures when it comes to the production side of things, or where they're produced. Here's the history box Goku. Honestly, this guy does look pretty decent, if I'm being 100% honest with you. I think that his face is still not really my cup of tea, but it's not really any different than the original images that we actually saw of him when he came out for the production images for the first time, which is a good thing, because obviously, you know, it's nice to... Hello, Gohan Beast. Oh, right, I think they're just showing you in terms of scale, because this is another history box figure. His face looks like how it looks from the original production images, so that's a good thing, right? And, of course, it's supposed to be recreating this iconic moment here, right? That's why his mouth looks like that. But I think, to me, it's just, like, indented too much. I think that's kind of the issue that I have with the figure. But overall, I mean, I think it looks good. This would definitely be something solid for your collection. If somebody gave me this figure, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to throwing him up on the shelf. But yeah, definitely a decent looking figure. I don't really think in terms of the sculpt or anything else there's much to complain about or really QC issues with this guy. He honestly turned out pretty good, so that's cool to see. Moving on from that, just the release times for some different figures, right? Basically, early April is going to be when we get Ginyu and MUI Goku, and then later on, in mid to late April, will be Majin Vegeta and Jace. This is the factory confirmation, speaking of which, China will be making Goku and Majin Vegeta, and of course, as in usual fashion with the Solid Edgeworks line, Ginyu and Jace will be made in Vietnam. So it'll be interesting to see the quality on all these figures once they finally drop. Here's some more images of the history box Goku. Again, I think it's just the indented mouth, man. Like, I don't think the sculpt of this guy looks bad, but it's just that that mouth is so indented that makes it look kind of creepy, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah. Here, I wanted to show this one because these two images, or these three images rather. Oh, I didn't see that one though, of the two of them. That's funny. Obviously, these images were not in this one, but this, I didn't even notice he's kind of wearing a Goku gi sort of getup. That is so funny. That's a great image right there. Alright, so the February DB Gashapons will be the second volumes of the Mini Cardass framed art collection with some examples below from volume 1. So that's kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see what those end up looking like in the final version. I'm sure we'll end up covering them on the series here. Alright, so this was kind of a little bit of an unfortunate circumstance, to be honest with you. Denki, I literally cannot pronounce that word, bro. Genki, I'm not even going to try, bro. I'm butchering it. Somebody in the comments tell me how to pronounce it. Hobby Genki is usually how I pronounce it, but that's not the same thing. Hobby Denki, no, that isn't. What? Well, anyway, you can tell me in the comments how to pronounce it, because your boy is definitely not cooking on his pronunciations right now. Regardless, though, obviously the page for the prize fair for this month was put up. And some rather unfortunate news, right? we were kind of hoping that potentially some Dragon Ball figures would be shown off. Of course, Baggy put the Super Saiyan 3 image there because obviously on the calendar is a Super Saiyan 3 BOS Goku, and we don't know what it looks like yet. But it is, well, we'll get to it in a second, I suppose, for the follow-up on that tweet. The February DB Kuji releases February 10th in Japan, so about 3 months to go. I'm very excited for these figures. You guys know that I'm so hyped for that. Okay, so the market value for this particular Goku, obviously we've talked about him for a couple of videos now, has gone up to around 9,000 to 10,000 yen, which is crazy, and Amazon US still has some in stock. So honestly, if you would like to get this guy, crazily enough, it's honestly cheaper for you to get him from the overseas price, which is still way too much to pay for the figure, but honestly, it is much more than the actual price that he's going for in Japan, which is kind of crazy. So if you don't want to wait for Japanese prices to come down, and they may not, we'll have to see, because obviously, you know, Japanese fans love their Namek Saga, it might be best to just cop him from Amazon. So definitely take a peek there if you are interested in this figure. As well, yeah, this is definitely just a little bit of a good PSA. I definitely agree with Baggy here. Suggest that folks in the US place their pre-orders for the February Ichiban show sooner rather than later, because the price is basically back to the normal, right, of what we had a couple years ago, with all these figures being around 35 bucks. And Japanese folks might start to reverse import again if the Kuji's market value is too high. Yes, that's right. That is something that people in Japan do, because back in the day, the figures were cheaper for us to get with just the overseas pricing, so they would ship them from the US to Japan because it was cheaper to get them, which is just insane to think about, considering they originally come from Japan. But that's just, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So this is just a little bit of information about the upcoming next Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji. We know that the Piccolo Day 1 is coming in May, so that will be interesting to see what figures they crank out for that one. But if we're following the same patterns last year, there should be one before then, only the 9th of November. So, oh, because he's saying he tweeted this on the 9th of November. So plenty of time for March to be listed if there is one for a Dragon Ball March Ichiban Kuji, right? We'll have to see what they end up doing, and as Baggy notes, last year, the Ginyu Force was the one in April, so if there is one before May, then that's probably the guess, right? So it'll be interesting to see what they actually end up doing, so just kind of keep your eyes out on different social media platforms to see if we end up getting an Ichiban Kuji for that. We did have, again, the BOS Gotenks release, and just some more pictures of him. I will say, from the side angle, he does not look good. Maybe it's just how they took it, or they didn't attach the head correctly or something, but he looks like Hunchback. I mean, he literally is in the particular scene that he's in, but I don't know, it just looks kind of weird. Like, this angle doesn't look too bad, right? Obviously, from the back and here, it doesn't look too bad, though. They kind of blurred out the face when they took this picture for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of looked like my guy be having some back problems, no cap. Anyhow, this is unfortunately the sad place that we are in. They did indeed photo ban Dragon Ball, so unfortunately it's only the prize figures that have been revealed that we got to see from the Hobby Denki pictures here, right? So Majin Vegeta, again, same thing, right? Still, the lack of battle damage on his arm is really weird. I don't know. Very trippy, but he doesn't look too bad. I will say his hair looks kind of blotchy, but I think that's just because of the particular like color of the image. It looks like almost like a big block of cheese or something. But Goku looks fantastic, right? We were really hoping that this sculpt would look good, and by golly, does it look good. Holy cow, right? You can see here that the leg sculpt looks good, the body sculpt looks good, the face sculpt looks good. He's got a little bit of a long nose, if I'm being honest with you, but maybe that's just the particular angle. And keep in mind, this is also the prototype. But overall, yeah, very, very nice looking figure. I'm definitely excited to get my hands on that man when he comes out. So, to kind of follow up to that, with the May production images, now they are not expected until the next 4 to 5 weeks, and June is not expected until the next 10 to 11 weeks, so we just gotta hang in there, right? Obviously, this tweet was made on the 11th, so keep that in mind. Right, so obviously we have the Android 18 figure coming up, as well as the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So that's why, hoping, I would agree with Baggy that it'll be Cowgirl 18, because that would be awesome, because we have plenty of Android 18 figures already, and I don't think there's one of that outfit if memory serves, so definitely would be really cool to get that outfit. And the final figure that we have is obviously this guy was on the calendar, and as you can see, this is the Clear Rise Majin Vegeta, and honestly, he turned out really well, if I'm being honest with you, right? You can still kind of see the separation gap, but I do believe that is how it looks in the anime. But by golly, that face sculpt is really nice. They definitely did a very good job with this figure. I might end up getting this guy myself, because I only have like one Majin Vegeta figure, and obviously this is a pretty iconic Majin Vegeta moment, so it would be pretty cool to have this in figure form, and not to mention I don't have that many Clear Rise figures, so that would also be cool. But yeah, he turned out pretty good, honestly. Overall, I don't really see anything wrong with the sculpt. Everything looks in check to me, so that's pretty cool to see. And I believe, with that being said, that is basically everything. Funny enough, Baggy doesn't even have a tweet up yet about Gohan. So very, very cool that we obviously got to see this man right here. I am really excited to see more information about this guy. I am definitely hoping that they show more of him, obviously, on that upcoming live stream. I think that that would be awesome. Obviously, that would be a definite way to get people hype, right? Because obviously, people are still excited to see the Goku unboxed for sure. But I know for a fact that people will be really, really excited to see this. Because for some reason, I swear, S.H.Figuarts collectors love Cell Saga. Like, I like Cell Saga too, but I swear I see, like, tons of Cell Saga stuff come out of S.H.Figuarts collectors, which is kind of interesting. I don't know, just sort of an observation on my part. But regardless, though, let me know what you think of everything that we covered in this video. I am definitely really, really excited to eventually, right, get my hands on this figure and definitely play with the cloth cape. That's going to be really cool to see how they handle that, because obviously they have not done that before, right? This is the first time that they're ever doing cloth on an S.H.Figuarts figure like this, so definitely pretty excited to see what they're cooking with. Again, if you did enjoy, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Definitely check out, again, the shorts that your boy has been uploading recently. I'm going to be uploading more of those, so don't you worry your little head about that. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.